Make that big boss less special. It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level. Second level.
Hello, Internet, and welcome back, or welcome to the official Level 2 podcast, episode 52. My name's Keegan, one half Level 2 Gamers, hanging out with Tom, the other half Level 2 Gamers. How you doing today, Tom?
Grant, a little nippy. It was a little warmer when we started recording. I feel like it's got progressively colder as time is going on. But other than that, I'm doing swell. You
know what can warm you up?
What's that?
Lovely, lovely hot matches in the Overwatch League, which we are halfway through right now when you guys are watching this. I'm super excited for this. For those of you who are new to this is kind of our podcast about us, whether it's inside YouTube or just things we want to talk about. In the middle, we have a game and or a quiz, and then you pick a topic at the end. So I pick a topic, game, you pick a topic. By topic, though, if you can't tell, from the hat that I wore last week, got the shirt in for today, Overwatch League is here. As of recording on Tuesday, so technically it starts tomorrow, so none of the games, I haven't watched any of them yet. But when you're watching this, the Overwatch League Week 1 is in progress. And I want to talk about a little bit what Overwatch League is because I'm super excited about it.
Inaugural season. Start with that. Yeah.
Inaugural season. So Overwatch League is a Blizzard-funded Overwatch League. So it's the official league. They're going to have a regular season. I believe it is 5 stages, and each stage has 5 weeks plus playoffs. Let me pull up here the exact schedule because it's like January through June. It's a 6-month thing.
Okay.
So I'm waiting for the slow. It's probably going to be real slow today. Preseason's done. So yeah, 5 weeks, and then the grand finals are going to be later on in June. I think June 10th or 16th. Don't quote me on that. Somewhere in there. There are 12 teams, 2 divisions. And you know nothing about Overwatch. I'm super pumped by this. So
I know enough about esport leagues with CSGO that I can follow what you're saying.
Yeah.
But please fill me in.
So I'm going to go over the structure first because they have it on here. So I'm going to pull this up and read exactly word for word on here. The Overwatch League, the first major global esports league with city-based teams, was designed to celebrate the best of the best in the hit Blizzard Entertainment title Overwatch. Our goal is to create the world's premier esports league where teams and players thrive for years to come. So the inaugural season, they're actually playing all games in Los Angeles at the Blizzard Arena. Their goal is 3 to 4 years down the road to actually have home games. So Philadelphia, and I'll go over the teams in a second, but Philadelphia played in Philly, LA played in LA, Seoul will play in Seoul. Which is kind of nice because that way you actually have a reason.
Tough for you to travel to Seoul just for a quick game of Overwatch, though. Wouldn't they just do it over the internet?
No, because it's all land-based, so you have more control over it.
Oh, fair enough.
But I mean, they're getting paid to travel. NBA players travel.
Well, usually
they go to China.
With CS:GO, what they do is they have non-land-based games while they're like getting into things, and then when a tournament starts, everyone goes to that location to do a tournament.
Yeah. Well, this is a season. The tournament is all going to be culminate at the end, and I'll talk here. So this setup, we've already gone through preseason, which was December 6th through 9th. Sadly, the Philadelphia Fusion, my team, did not partake in that. They had troubles getting people from all over the country. And again, I'll go over the teams in a second, but basically the way these teams are structured is London, ironically, has no English people, but that's just the city they're in. So think of it more like a sports team, not a national team or international team.
Gotcha.
Philadelphia has one English guy. Good old Boombox is from England. He's a really good support. But the regular season matches in the Atlantic and Pacific divisions will play out live from Blizzard Arena each Wednesday through Saturday. Though the season is divided into 4 stages, wins and losses will count towards teams' full season records and all-important seeding for the postseason. On the last Saturday of each stage, the top teams will compete for hefty bonuses and title of the stage winner. So I really like that. So you have the stages that happen. At the end of the stage, you have a stage winner. Those mini playoffs, whatever the hell you want to call it, don't count towards the seeding, but they get bonuses. So the players get paid $50,000 for a 1-year contract, plus insurance bonuses, travel, all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
So which is good, plus bonuses that come from this. And I'm going to get into it as well, but Overwatch just announced the skins are in game that when you buy, they go directly to the teams, not to Blizzard, which cool. I really like. So the regular season is January 10th through 16th. The postseason, or January 10th through June 16th. The postseason is June 17th through July 28th. After Stage 4 finishes, top finishers in each division will prepare for the championship playoffs, which will run from July 11th to 22nd. The grand final on July 26th through 28th will determine which team will be crowned the first Overwatch League champion, claiming glory, the Overwatch League trophy, and a USD $1 million bonus.
Nice.
And then All-Star Weekend is August 10th through 12th. After the Rush inaugural season championship, the Overwatch League will kick back for a weekend of festivities as the community's favorite players face off in unexpected challenges. Kind of like that. Meet the teams. The Overwatch League teams are permanent franchises representing major cities across the globe. The Atlantic and Pacific divisions are comprised of 6 teams, share a fierce hunger for the Overwatch League championship, as well as for $3.5 million in performance bonuses at stake. I'm going to go over the teams real quick. So, my team, Philadelphia Fusion, we're the Atlantic Conference. We're going to win. It's fine. I'm going to go over specifically the Fusion roster. I'm not going to hit all the rosters because people don't care.
Even play in the preseason.
We couldn't get everybody together.
You're going to win
because we're good.
All right.
Because we got Joe Meister and Boombox, two of the best supports in the world, and fucking Snillo. The dude's amazing. I love these names.
I like that Flower guy.
Yeah, Flower's fucking. He's bananas.
Is he on the Soul team?
I think so. I can double check that.
I'll support them.
So the teams you've got. I'm going to start with the Atlantic Division. The 6 in the Atlantic Division are Boston Uprising, Florida Mayhem, Houston Outlaws, London Spitfire, New York Excelsior or New York XL, and Philadelphia Fusion.
Okay.
In the Pacific Division, you have Dallas Fuel, the Los Angeles Gladiators, Los Angeles Valiant, which I hate that LA has 2 teams, but whatever.
They always have 2 teams.
San Francisco Shock, the Seoul Dynasty, and the Shanghai Dragons. And I believe
it's interesting that there's like a ton of like American ones and then just like 3.
Well, you know the Koreans are really good.
Well, I know they are, but I'm just saying like there's like 3 that are not American. And just like why isn't it more spread out?
They're probably going to eventually. They wanted to start small, and
Gotcha.
I bet you go from there. Fleta is another one you'd probably like. I'm trying to see what team Flower's on, but he may not be.
Someone snatch him up in the U.S. That'd be funny.
Maybe.
Whichever team, if he's playing, whichever team he's on is the one that I'm supporting because I thought he did a good job.
I don't see him.
Oh no Flower.
I see links there.
If you guys are interested, go watch a highlight reel of Flower play Overwatch. Like I'm not an Overwatch fan at all, but that dude could hit some shots. And,
Flower is bananas.
It's a really hard game to use a sniper rifle in, and he's fucking epic with it. So
yeah, I don't see him on here.
Oh well.
I have to look that up. But I'm going to go over the reason I picked Philadelphia Fusion, my team.
I was thinking it was because you support the Phillies in baseball.
That was partially. I like the city of Philadelphia, but I picked it based on the people on the team.
Okay.
So the Tug of Philly did have a little bit to it, but the roster here, and I'm going to start by saying I play support. So I'm a healer. I'm a aid. I don't DPS. I can tank, but I like playing support. That's my main person. If you guys know Overwatch at all, I'm going to list some names here. I'm going to go with the non-supports first, and then I'll say the supports. You'll understand why I chose this. So DPS, we have Carpe, Snillo, and Equo. I'm not going to say the real names. On defense, you have Fraggy, and you have Sato, which I've never seen Sato play. On flex, you have Poco and Hotba, and Hotba's kind of been surprising or amazing. Oh, Shadowburn is the other one on DPS. And then the reason I chose the Philadelphia Fusion as my team to root for during the inaugural Overwatch season 2018, Tom, fucking support number 1, Joe Meister, one of the best Lucio players in the world. And I main Lucio, love Lucio. Number 2, Boombox, best Zenyatta player in the world. I love Zenyatta. I play the crap. Like, ask David, I switch between those two constantly. And the third one is Neptuno, probably top 5 Lucio players.
Dayfly is in there as well as a support.
Dayfly, I don't know who he is. I'm just not gonna lie.
Okay.
But the reason I picked it was Joe Meister, Boombox, and Neptuno. Like that was, and then I saw Fraggy, who plays a lot of Winston, which I love Winston, and then Snillo is an amazing person. Carpe is all right, but I'm interested to see how they stack up since they weren't in the preseason. The team to beat right now is Seoul. Basically it's 2 Korean teams that mashed into one. And they are definitely the ones to look for. London Spitfires has got a pretty good lineup. They did all right. They just were out of practice, I would say, when it came to the preseason. But I don't know. I'm super excited. You can watch all games live on OverwatchLeague.com. They announced today, as of recording, you can watch it on Twitch. There's an app, Overwatch League app, that you can put schedules. You can follow your favorite teams. You don't follow sports at all, do you? Right? Like at all?
I only follow things that people don't think are sports.
You don't have like the ESPN app or anything, right?
I do not. No.
So one of the things the Overwatch League app has that I think every sports app should have. When I signed in, it's asks you what team do you want to cheer for, like who do you mark as your favorites, and obviously I marked Philly. And then the next screen is push notifications because you want to be like when game starts, all that kind of stuff. There's a toggle switch that says, do you want spoilers? And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And what it is so the way the Overwatch games work, and I'm sure it's similar to CSGO or any other thing, is there's 4 maps, 4 different game types, and then at the end, it's if you win 3, you win. If it's tied 2-2, there's an overtime map that they go to. What this does is if you have no spoilers on, it'll show you they're playing, but it won't show you the score, which I really like because I would be one to go back and probably watch the video on demand. So I like that of like, okay, this is going on, I'm aware, but they don't tell you that kind of thing. But they will tell you scores for other teams.
Neat twist.
So I really like that.
The scores for other teams could potentially still spoil it for you if you're in a situation.
Yeah,
where,
I mean, you
if
can
another team wins or loses, you'll play.
You can flip it on or off.
Right.
But I really like that has that in there. I mean, I'm super pumped for this. Like I said, I've not been this excited about a sporting league in a long time. Obviously, you were the one who got me into esports. I then found Overwatch, and I was like, hell yeah. Then the Overwatch World Cup just happened to be happening right after you said that. And
You've been really into that as
jumped
well.
into that. I've rewatched
I've seen our YouTube feed.
Yeah.
It's
well,
all,
I'm
it's
also
all CSGO and Overwatch.
Ask David, like, I've learned a lot from watching these guys on how to play.
You learn a whole lot.
And it's funny because I feel like I sometimes become more snappy because I now, like last night we were playing as me, Brian, and David playing. And I know you don't know team composition, but basically I was playing healer, support. David was playing, I think he was playing Genji. Then we had Orisa, Brian was Orisa, and then we had a Bastion, which is another slow-moving tank, and somebody else. And basically, I had to keep 2 tanks alive, and I couldn't do that. And I was getting so frustrated because we kept dying and we were getting wiped. And I knew partially why we were getting wiped because our composition was bad compared to the other team. But I'm like, dude, we can't do that. Like I know this isn't going to work. And I've always been one to have fun when you play games, but you want to win. Like there's always that.
You have a competitive side.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, but for the most part, I think I'd like to have fun, especially in quick play when you're playing with friends. But last night I was starting to get frustrated because I could tell immediately that it wasn't going to work, but nobody wanted to switch. And me, David, and Brian are in a chat. Half our team's not in the chat, so it's like you can't talk to them. And I was like, I know it needs to happen, but it's not happening, and it's kind of making me mad. But then I realized that I don't want to be that person while playing quick play. That's what competitive's for and all that. So I don't know. I'm super excited for this league. They announced today that the skins are in the game. Well, they announced a while ago skins are in the game. The skins are now in the game live. It's a different currency, tokens. It's 100 tokens per character. There's 26 characters right now, soon to be 27 characters. So if you want to get all the skins for every character on your team, it's $100, 2,600 tokens. They do give you 100 for free, though. So you get your first skin for free, which I really like. So I'm going to probably pick up Lucio. I don't know if you would necessarily
need skins for players that you don't use.
No, that's what I was thinking. So I'll get Zenyatta, I'll get Lucio, I'll get Winston, I'll get probably Soldier. I mean, I'll probably get about 10-ish that I play consistently.
But you were mentioning before that money goes to the team and not to
Yes. So the reason it uses a different currency versus the in-game currency is that the teams that you are supporting, if you buy for $5, you buy 5 skins for the Philadelphia Fusion, or say you pay $5 and you buy 2 Fusion skins and 3 Uprising skins, that gets divided among the teams, and then they obviously determine how it gets spread among the players or wherever it goes. But I'm actually very excited about this because I was an XFL guy. I watched the XFL. I went to a game, and startup leagues are always wary and scary because you don't know how well they're going to be received, how it's going to last. Obviously, esports has been around a while, but the fact that Blizzard is doing this is cool. And I think more and more, like Call of Duty, I know is getting into it. CSGO, I'm sure they have, I don't know who actually developed CSGO, like the developer name, but Valve. They are officially doing things. Like the fact that this is the official Blizzard one, and what Blizzard said is during the season, like this is the one you're going to want to watch. But then the off season, they're still going to allow third-party people to do stuff. They're going to allow their players to go do stuff. There will be events that Overwatch or Blizzard holds for the Overwatch League in the off season for certain things, but it's not required.
Yeah.
So I really like that because this is like, to me, I think the esports issue I have right now from everything I've seen is there's no standardized league to watch. So to me, it reminds me a lot of like soccer. If you go look at European soccer, my opinion is the Premier League is the one you want to watch. Like that's the best one in the world. But you have Premier League, you have MLS, you have all these other ones. I don't know all the ones in different countries, but there's a million of them. So you're like, which one I really want to watch?
But I guess, I mean, what it boils down to essentially is that Overwatch just doesn't have the pull to have as many leagues as soccer, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what they're doing is...
But there are already multiple of them. So you have Apex that they do.
Well, yeah. So they're able to kind of break it down, but this is nice because it is dedicated purely to them by the creators.
Yes.
With like CSGO and that kind of stuff, like basically how CSGO works is that you have North America and you have Europe as two separate leagues. That's it. There's just like the North American teams
which makes
the
sense.
European leagues, right? But there's a lot of teams, to be fair. So they go through their leagues like normal, and then sort of scattered throughout the year, there's
third-party
like
ones that pop up.
There's big events that they do, and those are like, dollar events. So you go there to kick ass and win and get a trophy and money, et cetera, et cetera. So there's some in Cologne, there's some in Odense, there's one in Oakland. There's a lot that are spread around, and I would love to have something more like city-based like this one is, but it's weird that you have like with soccer, for example, with the teams that are in England, I think there's a percentage of players they have to have that are from English.
That area. Which that's kind of my gripe here is like the only team that really has like majority of their players is the North Korean team. Seoul is majority, or South Korean, sorry. That's a big mistake there. South Korean team. That's the majority of them. Yeah. And I kind of wish like at least of the rosters also aren't set because some have 12, some have 9.
Right.
Like,
well, they probably change them in and out.
Yeah, but it should be because it's 6 people on a thing, like in a match at a time. So I would love that they have to be like 2 people have to be from that city or whatever it may be, just to give that hometown pull. Because like James noticed there's no Canadian teams, and that's who's Tigrado, one of our mods, and I told him that Joe Meister, who's one of the guys on Fusion, is Canadian. Like, he's one of the best Canadian... He is the best Canadian support, in my opinion, out there. And that's kind of why he went with the Fusion. Partially, I think, because I built him up and hyped him up, and I was like, fucking Fusion are awesome. But I think it's the other reason. He's like, I want to have a Canadian to cheer for. The World Cup is awesome because you do it for nations, and that's like the World Cup in soccer.
Right.
Like, same concept. I love that thing. But I do like having the team leagues where there is some sort of pull, but there's no other league really, like in the US, like NBA, you don't have to be from Philadelphia to play for the 76ers, right. That kind of thing. But I think it's because it's international is kind of where the issue comes in to a certain extent.
It's nice though. It's a nice thing. I think esports in general have really, really taken off. Like when we were talking about in Indie Please Add Details, I think it was last week, we were talking about games that had the highest sales in the Steam charts, and CSGO had finally overtaken, I think it was Dota 2, as a top. And you're like, man, this is a game that is like so fucking old at this point, but they just keep updating it. And because of the esport, that's the reason why more people are playing that game, is because they are watching that game. Like, I'm a guy that's
why I got more into Overwatch.
Yeah, I mean, I can't play PC. I can't play keyboard and mouse, but I went ahead and picked up a goddamn keyboard and mouse, and I've been trying to play that game because I love watching it so much.
And you're like, I can do that? No, I can't.
I really can't. I really can't at all. I'm trying still, but you know what I mean? It's like esports have that pull of something that is, not only do you get the sense of like, I don't want to say like patriotism, but I guess like loyalty to your team, because everyone likes to be loyal to a team. But because it's not a physical sport, because it is something that you maybe understand more, because you've played the game, and it's not like,
Well, that's like me. So I played basketball. I like the NBA more than I like the NHL. I played a little bit of hockey, but I was never a hockey fan.
Right.
So I don't follow hockey nearly as closely as I followed basketball.
But you also feel like there's physical limitations to, like,
You mean me being 5'10" and 200 pounds?
Like, I was 5'4", 5'5" when I was playing basketball, and a lot skinnier. And, I didn't have any fucking, like aspirations of being in the NBA because I knew that it would never happen for a tiny white dude from England. But, you know, there is a small part of me that thinks that you can get good enough at a video game, regardless of your size or weight or whatever, to play in these types of leagues.
Well, and I don't know if CSGO has it, but Overwatch League, the way it started is they have Overwatch contenders. So it's anybody can play. You have to be.
They do have an open league.
They have requirements, like you have to be a certain rank in competitive. That way you don't have 500,000 people trying out.
Right.
Which I think's fair.
Yeah.
And you need to be the best of the best to try out with the best of the best. So you're not wasting other people's time. But there are people in this league, and like I said, I know the big names from the World Cup because those are in my opinion, I've been told, the best in those countries. But there's people here that have come through contenders that are up and rising, and you're like, oh. Yeah. I should keep an eye on, and they got in because they did well in that. And it's funny because I can't remember who it was the other day I was watching, but the guy didn't do well in contenders, but since he was in the World Cup, he had like a favorable light on him because he obviously made the World Cup team, so he was good. Yeah. But then there's another guy who played the same character that was playing well in contenders, which is why he got the starting spot type thing. So it's really cool to see. The other thing I really like is and you can probably agree, is casters make or break these things.
Absolutely.
I looked at the list earlier, and I would say I know the majority of the casters. I don't know all of them, but the ones that I see that I recognize, I really like because they need to do a couple things. They need to break down the game that you're watching and what's happening and explaining what's going on in a digestible manner. They need to comprehend what's happening with all the flashing lights.
Very fast.
But they also need to introduce people who may not know Overwatch. Like that's the weird thing with an esport is, like you said, the access to entry is play the game. It's not that high, and then you get better. But there are going to be people, I think, watching this that have never played Overwatch and are just curious by it. So they have to be careful of doing that fine line of explaining what Overwatch is to the new people, but not talking too dumb to everybody who knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And the lineup I've seen is really good. I like it. The main guy is Monte Cristo, who is my favorite caster of all time, at least during the World Cup, because he did a really good job of doing the breakdowns of the play-by-play of like, hey, this just happened, that just happened, but explaining why they stacked this alt with that alt and what happened because of that. There's a lot of things that go behind the scenes that's
always the most interesting stuff to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, the thing that I like with a good caster is obviously I want you to explain it to me in a way that is digestible. Like I want you to say, they chose to do this because they're trying to counter that or something like that. But also, humor is great. Like you have to inject humor into it.
You have to. But
excitement.
Yes.
Man. Like, because I would not get as excited about like Nico or someone going on a killer tear in CS if it wasn't for the casters going, oh my god, and it's a fourth, you know what I mean? Like they get so, it's like they're like wrestling commentators. They get so
and
into
they're
it.
partially hype men.
Yeah, for sure. And that's,
I mean, obviously if you see a good play, you're like oh shit, that was like you understand.
You like I feel like it's almost like vindication. Like you could be excited about something, but you're not sure if you should have been excited about it. But when a caster is like losing their mind over something, you're like, oh yeah, that really was that awesome. You know what I mean? Like,
so
I like that stuff.
I'm excited for this to start. I'm literally asked off work the next few days. I've got friends coming over tomorrow to play Cards Against Humanity. I will probably have this on my TV in the background while we're playing just so I can keep an eye on it. Philadelphia, I don't think they play day one. I think they're day two. It could be wrong. They probably play day one.
It's so cool that a game that is a console
No, they play Thursday
and a PC game. You know, like a multi-platform game like this.
This is PC only for it.
Oh yeah, for
the league. Yeah, the leagues are.
It would be completely unfair otherwise.
Yeah.
But I love that that this game, like, and here's the thing, like, I really want to like this game. I do. You should
like, no joke. You should watch this. Like,
I don't mind watching the clips of it. I've watched them with you, and I'm like, I get it. I just like the way this game plays out is not what I'm there for. Like when I'm watching CS, I want killer headshots. I want sniping from across the map. I want sneaking up and knifing.
You don't like
people.
playing a role.
No, I don't like tanking.
Which is why I love playing a role.
I don't like in a first person game anyway, I don't like team balance. I literally want there to be like, I like the teams to play well together, but I want there to be like solo skilled sections that I can freak out over, because that's what makes me happy.
For like the it's mainly DPS characters in this, or snipers, like the Widowmaker. There's some
stuff
like
is
Flower.
The best, you know, like watching Flower like wreck, like, and you showed me that thing. I'm like, oh, dude, that's amazing, because I know how hard it is to shoot. I have played it. I do know how hard it is to shoot with what's her face.
I've gotten way better because of watching Flower. Right. Like I've learned how to stay in the air.
But it's like, it's like the angles that they take, and like when you're watching CS:GO and you see like they have this slither of an angle that they have a sniper scope down, and you're like somehow like in like a split second as someone crosses that angle, they get the fire off, and you're like, God damn! Like, how is your reaction time that good?
Yeah. One of the things we interviewed Charlotte Chung at Indie PopCon, and one of the things we talked about off before we interviewed her was she asked me who my favorite character was, and I was like, oh, I play Mercy, I play Lucio. And she's like, oh, you're a support. Like, she was shocked by that. Like, yeah, I like supporting. She goes, you don't hear that very often. I go, yeah, because most people want to shoot shit.
Yeah.
Like, and I play DPS, I play tank. I don't think I've said this before, but my goal is to like at least be competent at one character in every class, because I feel like if we need to switch around or need to change, I have that ability to do that, because I hate when people are only good at one character, because it locks you into that. And it's funny because, again, when I play with David or I play with James now, or Brian's been pulled in because he got the game, Bertrand's probably going to pick it up too. We're convincing him, like the whole crew's getting it. I now talk way more composition. Like I said earlier, like we had a Bastion, we had a recent. I was like, this is not going to go well. And I knew that we needed to change, but what are you going to do? And I think about that stuff more often now. Like before, I'd be like, I'm going to pick Lucio because Lucio seems really fun to play right now. And there's times I still do that. I'm like, I'm going to fucking be Genji because I can. David was doing that last night. He picked Genji because he just wanted to try him. And I was like, that's cool. That's what Quick plays for. But there's other moments, like last night, we were playing defense and King's Row, if any of you are familiar. I know you're not, but there's a map where line of sight. There's different lines of sight, and different characters obviously have different advantages based on line of sight. So I initially was going to play Zenyatta because I hadn't played him for a while, and I picked him. I went out of spawn. I was like, no, this isn't the right pick for this map to give my team the best chance to win. So I switched to Lucio because he's better on that map. And I did that also with another one I had. I was actually playing as Mercy, or as Lucio, and I switched to Mercy because we need more direct healing. And ended up going well, and I switched back to Lucio when we got to another point, and we ended up holding him off somehow. I don't know how we fucking did it. Like, we had 5 minutes, and they had like this far to go, and we stopped them. It was great. But like, I think of that more now. Like, I still play for fun. I still like picking my characters. Like, every so often I just go off and be like, I'm gonna play fucking this character right now because I can, and not worry about the team comp.
That's one of the nice things about Overwatch in general, though, is that you can change up your playstyle quite significantly with something like Call of Duty or whatever. It's like you're either a rifle, like a mid-range rifle, your SMG, your sniper, or your like shotguns.
Yeah,
like that's it. That's all you get. But with something like this, there is more variety in the play, which is what
I like. And it's funny because you can ask David. I mean, I hated Overwatch when it came out initially. I think partially, I think it's because other things had been out at the time, and I didn't have time to learn characters. And the characters I play now are the characters I hated initially, because I just found out the other day that they rank difficulty of how hard a character is to learn. And all the characters that I main right now are 3 stars. And that's not me saying, oh, look at me. That's me saying I probably didn't like those characters because they were harder to understand. But now that I understand them, you're like, oh, okay, that's what I'm supposed to do with this or that. Like Zenyatta, one of the things he's really known for is his power charge. Like, I did not know that if I have to do a full power charge and release of my orbs with my secondary fire, it can knock down any hero that has 200 health or less as long as they hit all shots. Like, that changes the game of how I play him. Because if I'm being chased and I got Tracer there, I just see where she goes and shoot her and she's dead. Then I'm fine. So I don't know. It's fun learning the characters to me, and I'm now in it. So when they add a new character, it's not as overwhelming. I know Brian, who just jumped in, he's like, I'm gonna pick this guy because it looks cool, and that's how we all started.
That's pretty
playing.
much how everyone started.
Yeah. But it's funny because he's learning characters he likes and all this. He still needs to learn when he hears an alt noise to run away, but he has yet to. There's one the other day where it was last night. I can't remember whose alt. It was McCree's. I got you, or whatever McCree says for his dead eye. I can't think of the phrase right now, but I heard it and I go, hey, everybody hide. Like, I called out because make sure everybody heard it. And sure enough, Brian's dead. I was like, Brian, when you hear that, you're supposed to run away. He's like, there's so many fucking words going on in Japanese. I don't know what's going on.
That's just Brian in general.
Yeah, it was great. It was
too many words.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm excited for Overwatch
Maybe one of
League.
these days, if it's on a super sale or something, I'll pick it up and I'll see if I can play Widowmaker on it.
Or you just come over and play on mine.
Or that.
So.
But, I mean, like I said, team balance-wise, not great, but I do enjoy a good snipe. So
yeah, I'm excited.
maybe.
Dude, fucking Flower on a Widowmaker is insane. And then Flower on a Pharah is insane.
I finally got my diamond camo for my sniper rifle in Call of Duty, and it has the L2G thing on there and stuff. So let me tell you, that was a fucking nightmare to get a hold of. There's so many things I had to unlock to get it, but like we talked about progression and stuff like that, and like cosmetic progression. Feel pretty good about it. Got to say, had to unlock the camera for basically every single sniper rifle, which is hours and hours of work for each one, and lots of mini challenges and everything. But finally got it unlocked, and and then immediately jumped back to my favorite rifle because I was so sick of using the shitty ones just to get the camo. I was like, I don't want to 2-hit kill anything. I want to just one shot everything.
Well, that's a way of making you use other guns,
right?
Like I like.
Yeah, no, it totally did, and now I'm like tempted to get my pistols diamond as well. And use the pistol more. So yeah, absolutely with you on that. So
if you guys want to see more information on Overwatch League, or if you want to just curious about it, overwatchleague.com is where they're going to stream everything. Again, they have an Android and iOS app. We streamed on Twitch, MLG.com, I think is what it is. I don't remember. MLG.tv. I don't know. It's going to be on the MLG website as well. But yeah, that's Overwatch League. I'm excited about it. Let's jump into our game. And I told you beforehand I was going to do the sound bites this time around, but I couldn't find good sound bites that was just distinct enough that you would know what it was.
It's not as easy as you think it is.
So we're going to play, as my default is, 20 questions. Name that game.
I don't know why there's a screw in my pocket, but there's
I don't know.
a screw in my pocket.
Something doesn't have a screw somewhere then. Yeah. But we're going to play 20 questions / name that game. Weird. So the way this works, I should probably pull this up so I can mark the questions. The way this works is I have a game on my phone. I have the Wikipedia article pulled up in case Tom has questions I don't know the answer to. He has 20 questions to ask and answer and figure out what he can ask 20 questions that I have to answer to figure out what the game is. And you didn't get it last time. Did you get it last time?
I got it on 20 last time.
Yeah, that's it.
And it was...
Yes.
Wasn't it Overwatch or something?
No, it was...
Farpoint.
Yeah, it was a VR game.
Yeah, so... Yeah, and I can only ask closed questions, just to clarify. I can't ask open questions, and I cannot ask what genre the game is. I have to figure that out by default. Because that's
you can ask, is it this genre, but you can't say what genre.
Correct.
So, question number 1, Tom.
Okay. My favorite go-to beginning question is always, what was the first thing it was released on, please? As in console or PC or arcade or whatever. Should have been prepared for that one.
First it was released on?
Yeah. First thing it was
Windows.
released on. So it was PC first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Microsoft.
Did it ever reach console?
Yes.
What was the first console that it was?
Xbox One.
Xbox One?
Yeah.
So it started on PC.
Made it to Xbox One. Now we're here.
Is it PUBG?
No. I thought about doing that, but I was like, I can't do that after last week.
Dude, I was about to nail it in 3. I was confident on that one. All right.
4, but yeah, you're on question 5 now.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, so it started live on PC. What year was it released? On PC.
2013. Oh, I lied. It's the other way around. It started on Xbox and then went to Windows.
Oh, come on now. You throw the whole game off.
I didn't read the years. I just read the months.
Wasted a question.
But 2013.
Okay.
Is when it was released.
And that was on the Xbox, though?
Xbox One.
Okay.
I didn't read the year.
Was the Xbox One out in 2013?
Yeah.
The one?
Yeah.
Are you referring to the original Xbox or the Xbox One?
Xbox One. Like the name Xbox One.
In 2013. Wow. God, time flies. Okay. Started on Xbox One.
Yeah, because I got my PS4 2014.
Got converted to PC.
That's 4 years ago.
Is there guns in the game?
I do not believe so, but let me double check here to make sure. I'm about 99% sure there is not.
Okay.
No.
Have I played it?
I'm going to say no.
Thanks for picking a game I haven't played.
But I'm not sure. Okay. It's a game but I don't know if you've played it because you just got your Xbox, so I'm guessing it's probably a no.
No. Yeah.
Unless it's PUBG.
There's no guns in it. What is the protagonist? Is it male, female, alien, creature, fox, whatever? Like, what is it?
A human.
But like man or woman? That's not a second question. That's the original question I asked you.
It's a man.
It's a man. Okay, so just male human.
Yep.
Okay.
I gotta turn my phone so you can't see
No guns, male human, started on Xbox, went to PC.
You're on question number 9, by the way.
I know. All right, so if there's no guns in the game, what is the main thing that you do? Like, I don't know how to describe this any better to make it close, but I want to say, like, what is your
weapon?
But like, if it's not a weapon, like, what is your?
It's a weapon.
All right, well, what is your weapon?
It's a sword.
A sword.
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's good. Is there other choices, or is it just a sword?
I'm fairly certain it's just a sword.
Okay.
Nope, there are other. There are technically other weapons.
Can you tell me what they are?
Spears and javelins.
Spears, javelins, and swords.
Yeah, it's like they're all hand-based weapons. That's why I was like, I don't know if they had anything else.
What era is it set in?
Ancient Rome.
Rise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo. How many questions was that? 14?
14. Rise of Rome is a third-person
Nailed it.
action adventure hack-and-slash video game developed by Crytek and published by Microsoft Studios. It was released on November 22nd, 2013 as a launch title for the Xbox One. It was released on October 10th, 2014 for Microsoft Windows by Crytek and Deep Silver.
I'm surprised I got that.
Set in an alternate version of Ancient Rome.
Yeah, that was difficult because I know what that game is, but I've never played it. I've never seen gameplay footage or anything like that.
I was like, you know the game.
But like when you said no guns and you said swords, javelins, and
Yeah.
spears, I was like, it has to be something like Greek or something like that. So,
It's Assassin's Creed.
ooh, man,
So you got it. 14 questions. I think it's your best one so far.
getting better. Trying to get under 10, I think.
Good luck.
Yeah, maybe.
So moving on to your tale. What's
So sticking with the theme of shooty things.
cool shit?
So you were talking about Overwatch and how much you like that. I want to talk about the thing that has my kind of.
I'm gonna shake my bottle real quick. So sorry to the audio people.
You're fine. Oh, man, sorry guys.
What?
To the audio people,
Oh.
apologizing for you. What's in there? Is that ice?
It's a shaker bottle. No, it's a steel ball. You
Oh.
shake it up.
Okay, weird.
Have you never used a shaker bottle?
No, I've never. Used
We had a guy say we need to talk into the microphone.
Yeah, that's true. But I think that was because he was listening to the bad audio one. I told him that he was listening to the one with
Still needs to talk to the
with cam
microphone.
audio. So I'm going to talk about my history in a
Shooting
particular
things.
franchise. Yeah, Call of Duty. And I know this is like a weird thing to talk about, but I want to talk about quickscoping because quickscoping is something that is frowned upon by like 80% of the Call of Duty audience. But I'm here to defend quickscoping to you and try and explain why I think not only is it an integral part of the game at this point, but also why I love it so much.
I'll take quick scoping over camping.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we can totally get into that conversation. But here's why. Okay, so when back in the day,
Which was a Tuesday.
I used to play Call of Duty. Like my first online Call of Duty was Call of Duty 3, right? So it's quite a ways back.
My first Call of Duty was Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Actually, World at War?
World at War was number 5 technically.
Was that before or after? That was before
After Modern Warfare. Yeah, it
2,
was
no.
Modern Warfare 1, then World at War, then Modern
So,
Warfare.
World at War was my first one.
But I played like Big Red 1 and stuff, but the multiplayer wasn't really there. But Call of Duty 3 was the first one that had like semi-decent multiplayer. So I played it like as it was meant to be played. And I enjoyed it. I loved it. Modern Warfare, same sort of situation. Played it as it was meant to be played. There was people that were very fast with a sniper rifle, but there wasn't really that feeling of what the fuck just happened, which is kind of what you get from getting quickscoped. World at War, similar principle. Played it as it was meant to be played. You know, normal, gameplay. Modern Warfare 2 was where everything changed. So Modern Warfare 2...
Calling UAV.
Not only was it an amazing game.
Calling the nuke.
Ramirez, fetch this. There was two particular guns, two particular sniper rifles, and the name escapes me right now. But two particular sniper rifles that could do one-hit kills at a distance. And the way that quickscoping works, if you're unfamiliar with what the fuck I'm talking about to begin with, which some of you probably are, quickscoping is essentially you are playing the game and using the sniper rifle as a one-hit kill rifle as opposed to using it as a sniper rifle. You could still use it as a sniper rifle, which the best scopers will, but if you're in like mid-range combat with someone, you're not fucked. You're not like, because for the most part, if you're only like
sniping,
breathing in and like doing the whole like wait, hold your breath, snipe thing, if you're face to face with someone, unless you switch to a gun really fast, like, and it's usually a pistol, you're fucked. So quickscopers developed a way to basically aim down the sights and snap the shot at the second that the reticule hits. So the difficult part about quickscoping is that you have to know where your subject is going, because it's not a matter of like, okay, there he is, aim at him, zoom and pop, because he's running, right? Usually, most of the fucking time. Now, there is sometimes when you get lucky and they're running right at you.
Like me yesterday, I had a Widowmaker sniping me as Lucio. I was on the point and she kept going at me, and I just kept zigzagging back and forth.
Right, and that's the way to counteract most sniper rifles. That's how I play PUBG all day long. It's just zigzag through fields, but no, like so you basically have to predict the pattern of movement. And snap to that point at the exact moment that player is going to be there, that you can let rip on that trigger and snuff them out. Or there is another method for quickscoping that is called flicking, which is basically like you zoom in, and as you're zooming in, or right at the second that you zoom in, you flick left or right, up or down, wherever you have to go to aim for a vital organ or something that's going to one-hit kill them. If you are in close range and you do not hit the first one-hit kill, you are very likely to die. You have to be pretty damn good to get one quick scope in, have the person not shoot you immediately, and then get another one in, because it is so difficult to nail that.
Well, most snipers are bolt action too, like one shot reload.
So you don't, so you have forever to reload. You're right. You could switch to a gun really fast again, but otherwise, unless you happen to have like a throwing knife or something, you're pretty fucked at that point. Or you're just really fast, in which case you can pull it off. So here's what happened to me, and the reason why I fell in love with quickscoping was actually, it started out for the same reason that everyone hates quickscoping. I got quickscoped a lot by one guy. So I was playing Modern Warfare 2, and there was this one particular level that we were playing. Again, I forget the name, but I was playing against a guy. Now, I don't know if this guy was actually in one of these clans, but he had an optic.
Which level? Can you describe it? 'Cause I'm trying to think
it's like a steel tanker type thing. No, not a sand. It's like a tanker where there's like two sides to the map. It's not the ship, but it's like this kind of just boring gray tanker area. That's why I can't really remember the name of it. But anyway, this guy had optic as his in his name, not just the clan name, in his actual name, which a lot of these players will do that. But then there's also a lot of people that like are into esports and stuff that will just say, oh, I'm going to call myself Optic Tom because I like Optic, right?
Yeah.
Or Phase Tom or whatever it might be. So this guy had Optic in his name. I don't know if he was in Optic or not, but the way he was playing, I wouldn't put it past him, right? So this guy is just owning the shit out of me with a sniper rifle. This is the first time I experienced anyone quickscoping. And it wasn't until I started watching the kill cams that I realized how good he actually was, because I would just be like, okay, I got sniped, and I would assume that it was like from a distance and he caught me and whatever. And
you
then
walked out,
when I actually watched,
and
he's like jumping off things and ping, and I'm just like, what the fuck just happened? And it's this kind of element of surprise that you get as a rifle player, where you're like, I don't know how you did that. Like, how did you aim down the sights and fire fast enough for me not to be able to put a whole clip into you? Because I see you first, but you're still going to kill me. Even if I get half a clip into you, you're still going to kill me before I can kill you.
That's why you lead with grenades every time.
And under fire as well is difficult, because if you're a quickscoper and you're being shot, then your fucking cursor's all over the place because you're being shot and it's kind of bumping around. So that's an even harder to kill to get. So this guy's fucking nailing me, and I'm just like getting owned over and over and over again.
You know, the definition of insanity is going to the same place and dying constantly.
I couldn't help it. Like, I was just dying. And so instead of getting, like, originally I was mad about it, but instead of getting mad, I decided to get even. So I was like, I watched him play, I watched all the kill feeds, and I started, like, Googling and stuff, and I was like, what is this fucking, like, thing? And then you would see the word Quickscoper popping up in the forums and things like that. Like, oh, I hate Quickscopers, they're so annoying. I was like, that's what it must be. So I started looking up, like, Quickscope montages. I got really into that. And, you know,
you had a lot of time in your hands.
Oh yeah. I had a lot of time in my hands.
Jesus.
And I would, and I actually,
I was playing sports when you were doing this.
I decided to teach myself how to quickscope because it's a learnable thing.
Because you said, wait, Modern Warfare, this is Modern Warfare 2. So I would have been, that was my freshman year of college. So I was in school.
So for 5.5 months,
God damn.
I
didn't even play the game that
taught
long.
myself how to quickscope. And it started off rough. You know, it is literally like a muscle that you have to flex. Like, if I don't play Call of Duty now for a month, I will be shitty when I begin. But if you play it every day, like every time you log in, you're pretty solid.
Well, it's like when you play,
anything,
like
right.
for Overwatch. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like the more I play it, the better I am. Then you come back. Like, ask James. James stopped playing for a little while. He comes back to play as Diva, and he's getting owned because he's level like 7,000
Yeah.
because he played it so much before. And I
Right.
was like, well, this sucks.
So, I mean, this was the thing that drove me. And it was like, okay, so I need to be as good as that guy was. So I start learning. I start, like, picking up which sniper rifles are best, which perks are best. Like, you know, how can I play this game in a way that...
When to call in the UAV.
Well, here's the thing. You can do a don't be seen by UAV perk. So, you know, that's a really good one to have as a quickscoper, obviously. So, so I started training myself how to do it. And for a start, people think it's easy. It's not fucking easy at all. People assume that, like, oh, you just, like, you know, you just boom, bang, they're done. It's like the cheap way to do it. It's not cheap if it's skillful, in my opinion. If I'm watching CSGO or Overwatch and I see a player utilizing a weapon in a way that is just complete ownage, but it's just because they're that good with that weapon, if that weapon's in the game, it's fair play. It's not like I'm using a secret weapon. It's not like I'm using a special, like, there's way
You don't have an
cheaper
aimbot or
things.
anything on.
Yeah, there's no aimbot. There's no, it's actual
Because
skill.
I hated, what was the, do you remember the controller mod? Well, you were on PlayStation, right? Yeah, because on Xbox, some company had a controller mod that you could buy that would... And I
They
was
would
like,
make you fire, like, really fast.
It's like,
and
come
stuff.
on.
Yeah.
Like,
And
that to me is cheating.
That's cheating.
That's cheating.
Right. Camping, I wouldn't even call camping cheating. Is it frustrating? Absolutely.
I have an issue with camping if it's all you do. Like, I can't... I'm a camper per se when it comes to based on weapon choice. So if I have a shotgun or if I have something, I'm going to hide out in a room and be like, okay, wait. But I also don't do that all the time. Like, that's my take on it. If that's all you do, I have an issue with it. But... I think it's a viable strategy. Like, snipers are meant to be hidden and not seen. Like,
right.
I told you to camp in PUBG in that house. Like,
right.
Let's hang here.
And you know how edgy I was about it. So I'm like, I don't like staying still. I like moving. So I like being in one area for a short period of time, trying to snatch as many kills as I can, and then moving on as fast as possible. Because when it comes to games, especially
I just want to point out that I survived longer than you did.
That's true. When there's a kill cam, though,
they know
there's
where
not
you
a kill
are.
cam in PUBG.
Yeah, they know where you
you're
are.
just done if you die. But when there's a kill cam, they instantly know where you are, and and people get revenge in those games.
I used to do it all the time.
That's what you do, right?
Yeah.
You find the fucker that killed you. You know he was hanging out in the barn or whatever. You're going to go to the barn. That's what you do. So
It's the long route though, so he doesn't see you coming.
Right. So I start, not start, but I taught myself how to quickscope, and I got to a point where, you know, this is a common thing that happens in Call of Duty where you have this, like, 1v1 thing, where people will be like, 1v1 me, bro, or whatever, because they think they're better quickscopers, or they're just, like, they're better riflers, or whatever it might be. And I was doing those. I was taking those. I was like, sure, you know, because I felt that confident in my level and ability at that time that I would 1v1 someone on Rust, which was, like, the worst level to do it, and fucking own them. And it was, like, it felt awesome. My other friends, I had some friends that were also really good quickscopers. They were the type of quickscopers that could actually pull off a 360 no scope, and I've never been able to do that. But you know, I could hold my own with them in a 1v1.
How do you feel about this accomplishment? I really want to know.
About what?
Succeeding at no scoping.
Being a good scoper.
Or quickscoper.
I like it. I like that I do
like.
it.
Do you? Because to me,
it makes it more fun for me.
I'm gonna, like, shit on you for a second here, because to me, you said 5.5 months. Like, putting that much time. I know I play a lot of video games now. I just feel like dedicating that much time to something that, in my opinion, is meaningless is weird. But I guess you could say that about anything, like me with Overwatch. But I don't know. I find it very interesting.
It's not meaningless well, meaningless is subjective, right?
Yeah.
To me, it means something because
Yeah.
it means that A, I accomplished a goal I set out to do, and B, I now get more enjoyment out of playing the game and hitting hard shots. And like, because as someone that primarily quickscopes, like I know how frustrating I am to other players.
But I feel like if you put that energy like cooking,
well, maybe
you could be a master chef by now.
Sure, all right, maybe.
But
if
I sound like my parents right now. But that's what I'm saying. Like
Right.
to me, like the fact that you spent that much time
games
learning,
forever, dude. Like
I know.
that's what I've been.
Oh,
doing.
I know. I'm not like I'm not trying to
8 hours a day. Like,
yeah, I'm not trying to be whatever, but it just boggles my mind because as somebody who until recently, like video games was very passive for me. I very much was sports, hang out with friends. That's what I did. Now it's play video games, hang out with friends, and it's real weird because like video games were always there for me, but they never were like the focal point of a lot of things. Like I had LAN parties, I did that kind of thing, but I wouldn't consider myself a gamer, and I used to joke that I'm not a gamer.
Right.
I think I am now because I'm watching fucking Overwatch League, but like. I don't know. It just is weird in my brain, that mentality, because I know there's people that do it, obviously, like you or other people that I played against online. I never would think to do it myself because it's like this is entertainment to me, and there's no
goal
point
for me though, because there's certain, like I can play a single player game, right? And you know how I am with single player games. I'll play it once I'm done with it. I'm done with it. With multiplayer online games, I need to find something to keep me into it. Like right now, the reason why I'm playing PUBG so much is because I want a fucking chicken dinner. Like that's my goal, is to get a chicken dinner.
What if I'd gotten it on the stream? Would you have been satisfied, or would you have to
that's
have
not
it?
me,
Yeah,
right? So I have to get.
But
a chicken
Hayden
dinner
said we
solo.
almost got chicken dinner. Then I was like, I almost got chicken dinner.
No, that was only you.
Not really.
I mean, you were prone for most of it, but it was only.
Hey, that's a legitimate strategy, and it worked.
It's close to camping, but all right.
No,
so,
it's sneaking. I was moving.
A little bit.
I was moving.
The moving was actually worse because we were like, stop moving, and you're like shuffling around in the grass as a sniper looking at you. Anyway, but no, it's so I get a lot of enjoyment out of it, and B, I don't know, it's just like there is a sense of accomplishment with it. And it's so lame to say that. I get it, but video games.
Well, it's like me when I go after trophies in video games. It's the same concept.
They're always escapism for me.
Yeah.
And it's always like, and if I don't care about trophies. I have an arbitrary goal when I play a game. Get to the end of it. If I'm at the end of it, I need another goal. So
I care about trophies more now because Sony has rewards for them.
Right. Well,
which
Xbox
is nice.
has rewards.
No, Sony does.
They do?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. We talked about it like
thought it
3 or
was the
4
other
weeks
way
ago.
around.
No, Microsoft said
were
that
gonna let you buy
they're
games
going to
the-
do something and never did.
Gotcha.
So Sony gives you points. You can buy like you get reward points, so then you can buy gift cards and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So,
but it's like, I don't know, man. It's there's some joy that I got out of it that just made me really happy. And that game stayed in my console for 2 years. The disc stayed in my console for 2 years. I might take it out once in a while to try something else, but it would
this
always
is back before digital games too.
Oh yeah, and this would always go back in. I would always fire, and it wasn't until, and this fucking still pisses me off to this day, it wasn't until I went into a server with a bunch of hackers that had hacked the fuck out of this server to the point where as soon as I entered the server, I lost every single ounce of progress I'd ever made. Like all my like little banners and everything disappeared. All my rank disappeared. I went from prestige like 5 down to 0 again. I lost my mind. I was just like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. I join a server and I lose everything. There's a console. Like, this doesn't happen. So I got so frustrated at that point. I literally gave up on the game. And trust me, if they re-release Modern Warfare 2, I will get right back.
So I'm going to
into
tell
it.
you my Modern Warfare experience here. So I was, like I said, freshman year of college. It came out, I guess it was that fall then, because I remember having Madden, and then that was the game. So in my dorm room, the way my dorms were set up was me and my roommate both had Xboxes, and the next door they had an Xbox. I didn't buy Modern Warfare 2. He did. And then they would come play, or my friend would play to my Xbox because he didn't have an Xbox, or I think his Xbox was at home. Something. Whatever reason, it was in my Xbox, and they always played on my account. So my account, technically, I think I have all the trophy or all the achievements in it, but I played it, don't get me wrong. But all the achievements were not done to me. While people were playing that, I was playing Trials. Like, I think it's Trials HD at the time. And I enjoyed Modern Warfare, but I never, as you know, I'm not a big World War II or a big shooter fan in general.
I tried to get you into Call of Duty.
Even PUBG to me, like, I know I'm not going to be good at it. And part of it's colorblind.
I don't feel good at PUBG at all, though, because it's just so...
Well, part of it's also colorblind, though, because it's all that...
I have trouble seeing, and I'm not colorblind, so I can only imagine what trouble you have.
So,
yeah.
I like Call of Duty. It's fun with friends type thing, but even then, I'm like, and we've talked about it, I'm more of a Halo guy. I like the jumping around stuff.
Well, that was
what you don't like.
Part I was going to kind of get into is that, after Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops came out, and they nerfed the sniper rifles. And they did it in a direct response to the community's response to quickscopers. And a part of me was like, and you could still do it, but it was just like way, way harder to do it because they literally made it so the point you zoomed in on was not the point that you ended up at. So there was no way to predict where the bullet was going. So like you would zoom in and then it would be like over here. And you'd be like, come on, man. Like they did that on purpose.
Yeah.
And they said that they did it on purpose. And any subsequent game past that, even Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, like all those nerfed the sniper rifles and made them basically, you couldn't quickscope with them. Or if you could, then you were either ridiculously good at quickscoping or you knew something I didn't. And then after those slump of games, they did the jetpack games, which we'll just refer to as the years that shall not be referred to.
I mean, I think they were good to a certain extent. We've had Call of Duty. Games. We've had the discussion whether it's Call of Duty or not, but right. I think they weren't bad games.
That's fine. Yeah, they were not bad games. They just weren't good Call of Duty games. They
weren't what you thought Call of Duty should have been.
Correct. So jumping up buildings and doing spins and shit like that, and like it just wasn't fun to me at all, and it lost its charm really quickly because I tried Advanced Warfare, I tried Infinite Warfare, couldn't get into it. I went back to the remaster of Modern Warfare just to see if that would work. Couldn't quickscope in that. I wonder if I can now, actually, that I've kind of got the muscles back up again. But yeah, I that again never really gave you the ability to do it. So if Modern Warfare 2 comes out, I'm right on that. But Call of Duty World War II made my end of the year list. It made one of my favorite games of the year list. And this is a game that I was so tentative to pick up because of all the other Call of Duties that I had picked up with the thought that this year's going to be better, pa. Like, it just never happened. It was always the same. But when they said World War II, they said no more jetpacks, I was like, okay, maybe this is the one. Maybe they didn't nerf snipers in this game. And sure as shit, they did not.
Well, I feel like part of it's a response to what is it, Infinite Warfare? Was that the one before?
The space one.
Yeah.
When you're in space, you've reached the end of your fucking time.
I played a little bit of the campaign of that. Like I played the demo thing of it, and again, it's a Call of Duty game to me. They all feel and look the same because I'm not into them like most people are. Like I'm like, oh, this is a cool guy. Like when we're playing PUBG, I'm like, is this an AR? Is this a submachine? I don't know. I'm gonna pick up and shoot it.
I'm the same. Like
same concept though. But you eventually learn, like kind of like me with characters in Overwatch. You learn the guns. You're like, okay, this one does this. This one's best for that.
Yeah.
So on and so forth.
This repetition.
I never got into that much. I just like give me a fucking assault rifle that is the most generic assault rifle that I can just shoot people with. And if I go above 500, if I like above a 1 KD, I'm happy. Like that was my goal. Is like I didn't want to feel like I let my team down, so I just wanted to have more kills and I had deaths, and that was it.
Yeah, it's a good place to be.
Because I wasn't bad at them, I just wasn't good at them. I was always.
They're hard to be good at, honestly, and I still don't think I'm good at Call of Duty. I just think I'm good at sniping at Call of Duty, and even then, like you had mentioned, when I put out that montage for a joke. And you were like, you didn't see the 3,000 other times that he got his ass handed to him, and you're totally right. Yeah. Like that, I'm at the point now where it's usually like more kills than deaths. Like 80% of the time, it's more kills than deaths. But at the beginning, it was a struggle. It was like I'd hit the occasional good shot. I'd be like, okay, cool, that's a nice shot.
You're like time code.
But there was so many that like I was just like I would just get owned, and it took a really long time to get back into the flow of it. But it wasn't like riding a bike. It was like I just remembered the exact like. Because the thing I have to tell myself when I'm doing it is aim slightly to the left, because I always have to remember my guns to the left of where I think it's going to be. I always have to remember like to when the snap point is, because if you snap too quickly, the bullet goes far. If you snap too late, you're dead. So I have to remember the exact moment to snap on the R1. And because I use L1 R1 as well, remember, which is I consider picking it up for Xbox just to play with different people, but I don't think I could do those triggers in Quickscope.
Well, the triggers on Xbox are shorter, so you might actually like them.
They're not shorter than L1 R1 on a PlayStation.
No, but they're shorter than they're shorter than the R2s.
Right. Well, I didn't use those. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like I use L1 and R1.
Yeah,
so
they're
maybe
the bumpers.
But the bumpers on the Xbox feel weird to me.
Yeah,
I don't think
they're
I could
clicky.
Use those. But yeah, So anyway, with World War II, I got back into it. I started getting better at it. I hold my own. I've released several videos of shots that I've made and good times that I've had on those games. And I'm at a point where I got the diamond camo, which is the hardest camo to get in the game, because you have to literally like get all the camos for every one of the sniper rifles, and they're not all that good. So So I'm at a point now where I love playing it again. I'm back into it. I know that people are mad, and this is my defense, is that this is not an easy thing to do. Like I said at the beginning, it took me 5.5 months just to get a kind of a feel for it, to the point where I wasn't just getting slayed every single one-on-one that I was in. Whenever there was me and another person, and when I began, it was like I was always dead because I could never fire the shot off quick enough. But over the years, I've managed to learn how to like no-scope close up, so I can try and at least have a situation where I can survive if they're too close. I've learned how to mid-range quickscope pretty much anything, long-range quickscope as well. And I think that the amount of time and effort that goes into trying to nail that gameplay style absolutely is worthy of being in the game. And I think, honestly, like, you have to adapt to it. That's the whole point. When I was getting owned by this guy, I tried to adapt to it. The way I adapted was by doing what he was doing.
I lead with grenades.
I could have easily just been more grenade heavy, or I could have just snuck around more, or I could have, just stayed the fuck out of his way at long range.
I mean, you've seen how I play shooters after PUBG. I sneak everywhere.
Right.
I'm a avoid people
and that's
thing.
That's a good counterbalance to that. But the thing is that people are they want you to adhere to their play style. Mm-hmm. So most of the people that play Call of Duty are run and gun. They have an SMG or something real small. They do lots of like jumping and then crouching and like, they're all over the fucking place. Those people most of the time will kick your ass because they have an advantage in that game by having A, good trigger happy controls, but B, like they have a just like a quick fire burst, you're dead, you're done, get out of here gun that they are efficient with. So, when they come up against something that they don't know how to deal with, they're like, I put half a clip in you. Don't care. I put a 50 cal in your head. You know what I mean? Like it just, when they come up with that and up against that, I understand the frustration, but it's hard. It's not easy to do. It's a difficult thing. And it's as fair to me as any other playstyle because it's built into the game. They didn't nerf it. It's the way it's supposed to be. So I really love using a sniper in Call of Duty now compared to every other generation pre or post Modern Warfare 2. I would highly recommend that if you were a fan of sniping in Modern Warfare 2, that you give Modern Warfare World War 2 a shot. Call of Duty World War 2 a shot because the sniper rifles are so much better than they've ever been. And I get a kick out of it. I really do. I love going against other quickscopers. That's my favorite thing because, like, when there's two snipers that are just, like, shuffling back and forth and pot-shotting each other, that the other person's trying to hit you the same way. And, like, it's kind of that, like, who's better? Who's going to get it? And their movement style makes it very difficult, so it's a cool thing. So that's kind of all I wanted to talk about is just basically say that, how I kind of started, why I learned, what I love about it in the new game, and why I think it's a legitimate kind of play style, whereas a lot of people don't. So that's my tale for the week.
Cool.
There you go. Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We talked about Overwatch League. We talked about name that game. You got Rise, Son of Rome.
Nailed it in 14.
And Tom talked about quickscoping and how he got into it. And I still think it's crazy that he spent 5.5 months learning a fucking mechanic in a game. But I've probably done
really good at it.
Probably done as much stupid shit as that before. So we all have everything. Like, I mean, my kind of counter to that was how much time I spent learning video editing. So I mean, I've put hours.
At least that's a life skill.
I mean, not. I guess it's doing a little bit now, but yeah. But anyways, that is the official Level 2 podcast, episode 52. My name is Keegan, one half Level 2 Gamers. That's Tom, the other half Level 2 Gamers. We do have two other podcasts. You can watch us on Wednesday with Indie Please Add Details. We'll be back next week, or you can watch the one that happened this week, or you can watch Codename Morpheus, which happens on Thursday.
Indie Please Add Details is an indie game-based podcast talking about indie games and indie devs. Codename Morpheus, as the name would suggest, is a PSVR-based podcast, and this is our regular podcast.
And then you can also watch our live streams on twitch.tv/Level2GamersSTL. Everything in 2018 live will be on Twitch. Highlights and VODs of the streams afterwards will be on YouTube. But thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, welcome to the second level. Bye.